Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be desoldering the Picoboot mod, or at least attempting to. I wasn't able to really find a whole lot about this online. There's a lot of installation videos and stuff, but not really that much about how to uninstall it. I'm pretty sure that I could probably just somehow like disable it with the Picoboot with the Raspberry Pi itself, like by maybe somehow removing that file that I put on it, and that would like render it inactive. But I would rather just go ahead and take it out entirely because I'm planning on putting in the flippy drive when that becomes available. I've pre-ordered it, so now I've already unscrewed the 4 screws at the bottom of the GameCube. It's pretty simple and straightforward. So I've done that. I'm just going to lift off the cover. And by the way, the reason why I'm uninstalling this mod is because I actually have an odd GameCube model. This is a DOL001, a Japanese one, and it's got the digital out. But if you flip it over, where serial port 2 is supposed to be, there's actually nothing there. It's covered up. So this is like, and I didn't actually know this. I thought all DOL001s just had the serial port 2 on the bottom, but it turns out that this was like some sort of a transitional model when they were phasing out the 001s and transitioning to the 002 or 101s without the DV port. So this is just kind of one of those in-between ones. So yeah, so it's a little bit, I've done Picoboot mods in the past and they've all been fine. But I used the serial port 2 in the bottom, and I couldn't do that with this one. I've been using this thing, GC2SD. I think it's called like an SD Gecko or something, but I've been using this, and it worked for a little while just fine. But then I've been getting like disk read errors or read errors, whatever it's called. And I've been unable to get the games to load properly. So I think the culprit might be either this card just being faulty, or it could be the fact that I used an aftermarket Pi Pico here. This is kind of a weird one. I got it off AliExpress, but it's got like on the chip, it's got the Raspberry Pi logo on it, and it's got USB-C, which I really like. But it's not the typical green Pi Pico that you get like from official channels. So I think it could either be an issue with this one, or an issue with this card reader. It's probably the card reader. But yeah, if I'm going to be installing the flippy drive anyways, no point in having this in here. So I'm just kind of itching to do some tinkering, you know? I just want to do something. I was going to wait and just uninstall this when the flippy drive arrives and just put it all in while I have it opened up, so I don't have to open it up again. But I'm not going to need to like get to the motherboard to install the flippy drive, so I figured I can just do this separately. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unscrew it, and then I'll get to the soldering. Okay, I'm back. So I've unscrewed everything, taken off the heatsink. I'm really happy about how cleanly this came off without damaging the thermal paste. I just put these pads in recently when I installed this mod for the Picoboot. So I'm happy to see that they are okay. I did warm it up a bit first. The heatsink was kind of hot. I just ran a game for like 20 minutes. So that probably helped a little bit. This is the region change jumper cable, whatever that they did. The previous owners did this to switch it to a US, to switch the menu to US, because this is a Japanese console originally. And this is the IPL chip. So this is where I installed the Picoboot. And I used Helder's flex cable, which is really nifty. Helder's Game Tech has some pretty cool stuff. So this made it a lot easier. This was the first time I used this system because the previous mods I did, I just did it the old-fashioned way with all the different colored wires, and this definitely made it a lot easier. So I'm not really sure what the best way to go about this is, but I've settled on sort of just trying this wick. So I'm going to use the solder wick and my soldering iron, and hopefully that should just suck up enough of the solder. So I have my iron heated up to 347 degrees, or 350, but it says 347. So yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and try this out and hope it goes well. Hope I don't damage the IPL chip in the process. This is just sort of an experiment for me, so we shall see what happens. So heat up that solder, rub it on. Seems to be coming off pretty good. I should probably try to take it off the quick solder flex cable instead of the chip itself, right? Because like if the flex cable gets damaged, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to use it. We don't want the IPL chip to get damaged though. So I do see the solder's coming off. Let's see. Maybe I can just heat it up enough to just pull it off, huh? I don't know. This is pretty tricky. You know, to be honest, I can't even remember which legs I soldered. I'm just kind of looking at it to see. It doesn't help that this is taped down too. Let's try to peel that off. Okay. So I might be able to, oh, there we go. So part of it's pulled off already. Yeah, I can see it's giving, it's heating up and giving, so that's good. That's nice. All right. So that part is off. Now let's see here. So that's what it looks like now. I'll try to clean up some of this excess solder that's on here just using my wick. So there's no like, you know, I don't know, I just want it to look nice. I don't want there to be like any bridging or anything that might have happened if it heated up and, you know, flowed over to the other legs a little bit. Let's see, can I get this off here? Yeah, it's definitely bridging, so let's get a fresh bit of this wick here. Should probably use tweezers, but I don't know. In a perfect world, I would have planned it out more maybe before I actually started it, but this is just how I do things. I just try and hope that it all works out. Let's see. I wish I had like some wider solder wick here. Would make it easier. This is like pretty stubborn actually. I don't know how I can get, I have this one blob here on the end. Like it's bridging and I'm trying to like get it to go off, but it's not really cooperating. I don't think I can damage the legs by doing this though. What do you guys think? I don't know, this is pretty risky what I'm doing, but I'm gonna test it out when I'm all done. And hopefully it'll be okay. All right. I think that I've gotten enough of the solder off. Let's see. Try to soak up this bit too. Come on. As long as it's not bridging, it'll be okay. I wish I could get it off like more neatly. It's just not coming off. Now the wick's heating up, so maybe I need to apply pressure for longer. But you know, the soldering iron's soaking up some of the solder too, so as long as there's no bridging, as I said, it should be okay. All right, well, I think I got it good enough. So that's what it looks like now. I'm gonna just try to, I'm just gonna do a little test and see if it turns on and loads up.
So I thought I would add this little bit in after recording this video because I actually forgot to use flux when I was doing this project, and that would have made it a lot easier to absorb that solder using the solder wick. So I actually went back in after I recorded and used the wick again with some flux and got a little bit of that remaining stubborn solder off. And here's a photo of what it looks like after doing that.
Okay, so here I've done sort of the absolute bare minimum to see if I can get it to power on and load a disk. Okay, so I didn't put any of the screws back in. I just reconnected the stuff here, the controller ports, and plugged in the disk drive again. So let's push the power button and see if anything happens. Let's see, just got to reorient myself here. Yeah, the power button's here. So the fan's spinning up, that's good. The power LED is on. System settings were lost. Okay, well, so far so good. I forgot to plug the controller in though. Hold on a sec. So I can just rest this here. Can I? No? Okay. Let's just put it there for now. Okay, plug in a controller. Let's see. I don't want to choose system settings. So here we go. So here I got this. Gameplay. You know what? It's not going to spin up the disk because this button's not being held down. Yeah, I need to have the case on because it thinks the case is open, so it's not going to spin the disk up. All right. But it is powering on, which is good. So that must mean that I didn't screw anything major up. So that's basically what I wanted to test now. So I think I'll maybe arrange the stuff the way that it's supposed to be, and then still without tightening any of the screws, I will put the case back on and try again and see if the disk loads. Okay, so the case is on the GameCube. I heard the disk spin up when I turned it on. So now let's go to gameplay and see if anything happens. Anything good. Okay, detected the game, Lord of the Rings. Press start, and it looks like it's loading just fine. So that must mean that I didn't screw anything up when I took this out, which is awesome. It seemed like a pretty easy thing to undo anyways, but I was a little bit scared about, you know, getting back in there with the soldering iron because, you know, everything's so tiny, and I'm just worried. I was afraid I would like burn the chip or burn the contacts or screw up the IPL chip somehow so that it wouldn't work anymore. I did that with a GBA once. I was trying to connect the wire and I burned the pad and I just couldn't get it to stick on anymore. So I was afraid that something like that would happen because I don't want to screw up my GameCube. I really like this GameCube despite the fact that it doesn't have that serial port on the bottom. It's still, you know, it kind of holds a special place in my heart, this color, especially because my first GameCube was this platinum silver color. And then when I decided to get back into this, I got a black one first, which was pretty cool, but I ended up modding that, and I don't have it anymore. Then I got a yellow one, or the Spice Orange, I think it's officially called. Orange, I guess it's more orange than yellow. But I somehow, I don't know, I still felt drawn to this color, and it's very like reminiscent of the early 2000s for me as well. I feel like this silver color was in for electronics back then. So that's it. So I have a lot more planned for this. So stay tuned for future videos. I'm going to be installing a fan, upgrade the Bluetooth controller port as well. I think it's called Blue Retro. I can't remember the names of these things, but I have that set up or ready to go. I have the new fan, and when the flippy drive arrives, I'm planning on putting everything in at once and creating like the ultimate modded GameCube. So, yeah, stay tuned, and I hope this was helpful. Take care.